Good morning, our people. Welcome to the program. We are super happy to have you guys here. As usual, help us to like, subscribe, click the notification buttons so that we can get this information out to our people. By the way, we missed you guys last week. I hope you were able to
Yes.
join Brother Tony on Dr. Damages explaining the, fundamental information that we need to move forward. That video is still available, by the way, if you didn't watch it. So please help us to share and like and do all these things. We need to empower our people with knowledge. With that knowledge, then we move. We cannot move when we have a lot of ignorant people around us, people that don't understand why we're saying what we're saying. So it's important, like we keep saying, this is not a competition. This is not a popularity contest. We are not
No.
trying to win over you. What we are trying to do is to share information that you may not have access to so that we can move as a unit to get to our destination. So welcome to the program. My name is Mona Chimsaga. I love my name so much. I am here. I am here in Houston, Texas. I will defer to my sister. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much, my sister. And my name is AP. I live in Lexington, Kentucky. Yes, please help us to share, like, and subscribe. Because while we are doing that, we will be playing a video so that will just keep us in the frame as we are, sharing, liking, subscribe. And the thing is that when you like or share, it will help our YouTube, those on YouTube those on YouTube will thank you also. You're doing a good job to help them to bring it for more. And we are breaking our video now so they can travel faster. So please, when you see them, share them, subscribe, like, hit, just watch and go. We know when you watch, you get information, but when you like it, just click, one click, it will make other people to see it and it will make YouTube to populate it. So like we'll tell you all the time that you're part of the team. So you're part of the team, you're disseminating the information to deliver our people from ignorance. When our people know the truth, they will run with this message. So let me join us to share while we watch our sister.
84, 85, Bismarck, who was then the big boss around there, called on the Europeans to say, let's not waste time talking with these African savages. We are going to conquer them, grab their lands and resources, and civilize them. That is how they agreed on a set of rules during the Berlin Conference, also known as the West Africa Conference. And by mutual agreement, they jointly came down on us to carve up our territories and butcher us. After World War II, they once again divided the world among themselves. Russia got its share with Eastern Europe, the USA had its part in the Middle East and Latin America, China took Asia, and Africa was left to the French and English. It's because the French violated the terms of the deal by meddling in Crimea, Georgia, and Ukraine that the Russians are standing by our side today. But make no mistake, they aren't here out of love for us. They are here for their own interests and also to punish France for stepping on their toes. You do me, I do you.
Mhm.
What you do at my place, I'll do at yours, except that in this case, it's actually at our place, our motherland. Today, France is trying to rally all Europeans around the reconquest of the African continent. In the paradigm underlying this aggression, our patriot African leaders don't matter. Our institutions don't matter. It's only what they decide over there that counts. They are certain that there will always be local accomplices, local puppets on the ground, like the ECOWAS or the African Union sellout leadership to ensure their orders are executed. But while this may be true for some African leaders, it's no longer the case for the African people. The French have not evolved. They fail to realize the generational shift that has occurred in Africa. The post-independence era with the likes of Senghor or Houphouët who swore allegiance to French domination is over. The ones who followed, who studied in France, the UK, or the US, and only felt truly African when following instructions from the Elysee Palace, the Quai d'Orsay, the White House, or Downing Street, are becoming the minority. Today, we are facing a new generation of Africans who do not accept to be told that they are not at home when they go to France or Europe. And when they are in Africa or return here, they also encounter French people who say, we decide what happens in your country and our interests come first.
Mm.
This new generation of Africans, whether in civilian clothes or in military uniforms, no longer accepts this. It's over. Africa belongs to Africans, and we are going to ensure that they get this message perfectly straight by any means necessary. My name is Natalie Yam, and I'm one of the worst nightmares of Western colonialists in West and Central Africa. Francophone Africa is the weakest link in Africa's emancipation. I call upon all economic and political freedom fighters of Southern Africa, Eastern Africa, Northern Africa, and the diaspora to unite with us, to enable us to kick France and the West out of our continent and finally exercise our sovereignty to take off towards progress, prosperity, and stability. Amandla.
Amandla, my sister, Amandla. Thank you so much. Please continue to help us to share and like and what is this called? Well, subscribe. We are going home. Devil has no choice. Devil has no choice than to back off. I was listening to a guy that said that we should tell people you cannot have our sons, you cannot have our husbands, you cannot have what God has given to us. So please help us to continue to share. Our people are getting the information. We want to thank those doing work at home. We do want to acknowledge that we're not the only one doing this work. You know, we're part of groups that are working hard to ensure that our people live with dignity. And we're not even asking for much. We want to be able to live with dignity, take care of our children, watch our children have their children, be a grandmother, a grandfather, live in a peaceful world, which is um, what is the English word I'm trying to use? Possible, which is possible. But some people decided that it will not be possible for us because they want more and more and more. And that goes in line with our topic today, rejecting neo-colonial shackles. Rejecting neo-colonial shackles. We know about our late brother, Dr. Obidaya. Uh, don't quote me. I can't say his name right. It's
Yeah, Melafia, Obedaya Melafia.
Obidaya Malafia. So, yeah, the former deputy governor of CBN, he said that the 1999 constitution is based on a lie, and it is a fraud, just like we've been lamenting on this platform forever and a day. And is that 1999 that is a pressure cooker that will keep us where we are if we do not release the pressure? He went further to say that a fraudulent constitution in the hands of people with hidden agendas, loyal to foreigners, and unpatriotic to their people has nothing good to offer us as people. We've told you guys over and over again that the 1999 Constitution is an issue. It will never allow you to move forward. It will never allow you to progress. It doesn't matter who you put in the steering wheel. Africa is in the midst of long-awaited revolution as she struggles to rid herself of all shackles and manacles of colonial criminals and imperialists. This has divided the world into those afflicted with what we call hyper-normalization and those still able to reason like real humans. By the way, we posted a video on our platform last week called Hypernormalization. Please watch that video so you can understand what this huge corporation as well as the political leaders are doing to the people. So this hypernormalization is a 2016 BBC documentary by a British filmmaker, Adam Curtis. This guy argues that the government of the West have since 1970 built an illusion of fake world run by make-believe huge corporations and kept stable by selfish and greedy politicians who think only about themselves, their fatal ambition to rule, who think only about to dominate, deceive, and manipulate people. To those who fail to look deeper, the things seem to be out of control and inexplicable. Right now, it looks like we are living in a time of great uncertainty and confusion, but also of great opportunity to be free. So we should not look at this time as a difficult time, but a way to challenge ourselves to get what we want. While 14 African countries under the yoke of France seem to be breaking loose, of course, our so-called Nigeria went back to exactly where she was in 1967 when she was contemplating whether to fight Biafra or not. We know that our so-called President God-fearing Gowon chose to do the unthinkable. He committed genocide and killed about 3.5 million of Biafran people, just like our so-called illegitimate President Tinubu is seeking validation from the West. So he's more interested and willing to protect the interests of the West, especially the Britain, the one who set up the enterprise called Nigeria. Gowon signed every document that British placed before him that allowed him to kill our people. So today we'll continue to connect the dots for the indigenous peoples of Nigeria, who must be better equipped and well prepared to take back their sovereignty from the flesh eaters, bloodsuckers, and the vultures of the West, as well as their internal colonizers. So it's important for us to understand what is happening. We know that everything that is happening around us is based on the 1999 Constitution. We know that all your woes, all the things that the pastor has been telling you, oh, it's your mother, it's your sister, it's your neighbor, it's your friend holding you down, has nothing to do with that. That is the 1999 Constitution that is pressurizing you. Think about since 1999, how many good governance have you achieved? None, but you've been going to election every year. So until
Yes,
we
almost.
identify and remove this shackle of 1999 constitution that is operating in the name of neo-colonialism, we will be running in circles. We're not here once again for competition. We're here to be informed, well informed, so that we can make an informed decision. Go ahead, my sister.
Yeah, and we'll go ahead and play you one of Nina's videos for you to understand what we're saying about 1999 Constitution. We know you see these videos, but the more you look at it, the more you get the details, because some people don't understand. Some people say, oh, how can you say the constitution of a country is fraudulent? But it is fraudulent. It's not me saying. If you know what constitution is, constitution means the constituents of a country. We make a document that will guide them in the relationship with one another, especially in our own place where we have diverse ethnic nations. So we need a constitution done by all, accepted by all. It will stop all the killings and all the problems we're having with one another, because then we have negotiated and we have discussed and agreed on the terms we used to live. This is just common sense. So please, you don't need to be a professor, a doctor, an engineer to understand this simple thing. It's just for you to use what my people call akonuche, sense. Please go ahead.
As darkness continues to cover Nigeria, things getting worse and worse, Ninas had repeatedly told the public, demonstrated that the unitary constitution of Nigeria is the source of all the misery, is the source of all the instability, is the source of all of what we have been lamenting, whether it's the killings or infrastructural decay or corruption or impunity, everything. Therefore, we invite you to listen to other voices that are not necessarily associated with Nina, so that we can see that there's a consensus that is sufficient to lead us to where we solve this problem now before it consumes us. Because if we don't solve that problem, it will consume Nigeria, and that means Nigerians are only going to go from where they are now into the inferno that Nigeria will become if the problem is not solved. Let's listen to those other voices, and we come down to what shall we do. There may be some of them who will even tell us Let's take a listen.
49 people selected to write a constitution, wrote a constitution. 40 people in the Supreme Military Council promulgated a constitution for us. Under General Abubakar, government in which I served, I was in executive council. I never saw the draft constitution. And I was Minister of Information. It was my responsibility to publicize it to the country. On the day of swearing in of Obasanjo, we didn't have a copy of the constitution. I didn't know who was printing it. And my ministry was supposed to pay for the printing. And Obasanjo was sworn on a constitution that had not been read by anybody. And the National Assembly could not be constituted until 4 days after he swearing it, because there was no clean copy of the constitution. You cannot build on quicksand. In country cannot live on falsehood.
Dare to tell this nation today that this is the problem. This constitution can never give us progress. This constitution can never give us peace. This constitution can never give us unity. And unfortunately, most of us in this National Assembly, we don't have the spine to face what we need to give this republic to have peace and progress. What do I mean? This constitution has 68 items. 68 on the exclusive list. This constitution has only 12 on the concurrent list. And those 12 are written so nebulously, so fraudulently, that you know that the intention is to even undermine those concurrent lists. The formal name of this republic is Federal Republic of Nigeria. Unfortunately, we don't run a federalist system in Nigeria. Otherwise, what is so unique about all those things that are in the exclusive list? In this chamber, we try to federalize the police system. In this chamber, we failed. Every crime is local. And the solution to every crime is local. The earlier that senators in Nigeria summoned the courage to say, we should not continue to deceive ourselves.
So I'm saying that the first problem is that if this country wants to work for everybody, is to look at this constitution and say, this constitution, you have done your worst. Because after all of the people that have been saying, well, they went around the country before the constitution. No, they are liars. The military cannot give us a constitution. It's a constitution produced under the army green. So when people talk about this constitution as something that we need, I tell people, why are people talking as if the basic education and knowledge they should have is lost on them? How can the military give us a constitution? If we told you that the military cannot bear rule, how then are you still using the constitution given to it by the military? Because according to law, they shouldn't be in office in the first place. So everything that comes with the military, you have to try and set it aside. So the first thing we need to do is to sit that constitutional conference or sovereign national conference that they are afraid of. We will have it. We will have all that they are afraid of. We'll have a constitution. I'm a patriot. I have recommended on different platforms, even in the international media, we cannot have this country break up. So what will make this country work for all is to first of all throw away this wicked paperwork, burn it and throw it out, and sit. We need about 6-8 months or even 1 year to get a proper document that addresses majority problem, minority problem, and the constitution must also make it sacrosanct. For instance, we are going into an election. We had our last census 2006, disputed census. We don't even know the population of the country. We have been dealing with estimates.
Right.
How do you even solve the problem of the country without data to work with?
What he's saying is relevant, but not in this case. It's relevant when we talk, I don't know when you were there, when we talk about systems.
Yes, my lord. If I may say something, my lord, with the greatest respect to my lord.
Hold it. I don't even know what I'm talking about.
I know, okay.
That most of our headache is in the system.
Yes, my lord. And if I may go further.
And then, well, we will explore that later on when we have this special hearing.
As the court pleases, as the commission pleases. My lord will even know more when we discuss this exhibit. The most important thing, my lord, is that some people appear to be too distant for this generation.
Structural, the word is structural injustice.
Yes, my lord.
I asked people to make their research. I'm conducting mine, and I want to compare your investigations and research with mine. Structural injustice.
Please continue to help us to share.
Headache we have is structural.
Yes, my lord.
And in the system itself,
Yes, my lord.
men will come and go, the system still
Remains. Yes, my lord.
That the constitution that we have at present is a fraud. It is a fraud because it starts with we the people, when in fact you and I did not sit anywhere to design this constitution. By that fact alone, it is based on a lie and it is based on a fraud. In the past, people could ignore that because Olusegun Obasanjo was a fair-minded man and he was a patriot. Because
No, he was.
Umaru Yar'Adua of blessed memory was a fair-minded.
All right, we'll stop this video here. We'll post it in its entirety. Our people, they will speak half truth because again they are benefiting from the system. They will speak the truth and mix it. It's like again having cereal with rice and ofu egusi all for breakfast. So the point that we are trying to make that is that 1999 constitution is a fraud, and until we take that fraud down, we'll continue to run in circle. We'll continue to cook in a pressure cooker. That's what the so-called Westernization project called it. They say the Nigerian constitution is a pressure cooker for injustice. So that means people can do things to you. The governor can give himself $20 million when you don't have food to eat. They can buy 50 vehicles for people to follow them behind. They can, destroy our land and then send their children. They get rewarded to send their children overseas to school. They buy homes. They allow them. The Western people allow them to buy homes, in their Westernization countries, and then live over there, and then destroy you in your own indigenous land, and then they have access to the Westernization area where they will continue to live their lives. And we're saying enough of that. Enough of giving people the leeway to destroy us as a people. And we claim that they're working for us. We can see they're just, another name for them is just called internal colonizers. They have nothing else to do but to keep us down. So I'm going to pull up the PowerPoint for the day. Please continue to help us to share. Knowledge is power. These people they don't mean well for you, bottom line. They never mean well for you. They don't want you to progress. If you think about it, look at what we have done. We have allowed the Western people to steal from us. We have allowed them to have access to all our resources, and they still unleash terrorism upon us. They still want to destroy our food line so that we will die of hunger, because they want more and more and more. Because we are all sleeping. We are all believing God to do it for us. We are all thinking it's our mother that is holding us down, our sisters that is holding us down. We need to wake up and reject the neo-colonial shackles. They don't mean well for us. And of course, we cannot move forward without reminding our people that we live in the Osman Danfodio estate. This is just a business partnership. He's the caretaker of the people imprisoned in that territory called Nigeria. That's all. And now his children are taking over. So it's a family business, just like your father will hand over business for you, and then you'll have your children, they will hand over to the next generation. They tell us every day that they are born to rule, that we are conquered territory. They can do and undo to what? They can, as long as we're in one Nigeria, that the oil in Bayelsa belongs to Jigawa, they can mine their gold and save it for themselves and their 50 wives. And then they will come to our land, take our oils, destroy our land, destroy the environment, and keep it moving, and nobody says a thing. And we are sick of it. We are sick of it. So on our objective today, we are going to look at the 11 colonial agreements imposed on the 14 countries by the France since 1960. And if we remember our brothers and sisters in Haiti, they are going through the same thing. They have been imposed, imprisoned, and now they're unleashing terrorism on them. This is never enough. The blood is never enough. The more blood we shed for them, the more blood they want. It's all our blood. It's all our blood and our resources. That's what they live on. They want more blood, killings upon killings upon killings. I don't want to keep using the word. People just being dead and dead and dead and dead. No amount of dead body is enough for them.
No.
We are going to look at signs of times, home and abroad. Of course, our 5-point agenda, because this is what we need to move forward. This is what we need to move forward. Continue to help me to click that like button.
Yeah.
And then we're going to look at announcements, and then the spotlight on the wisdom of our ancestors. These are the things that we have in place before they were destroyed by those who came to destroy us. Think about, since they have come, nothing good has happened to our people. It's going from frying pan to fire, like every day. Ihojo is expanding. Our boys cannot even go to school without being in a court system. They can't even finish college without saying, I belong to this court and I belong to this court. Or, and we see them being destroyed every day. Our so-called future. And our people are there dancing in circles. It's sad. So looking at the 11 colonial agreements imposed on the 14 African countries by France since 1960. Number 1, the colonial debt had to repay the benefits. Benefits of colonization. Wickedness. They will remove the cost of infrastructure built by France during colonization.
With their own money, built with their own money in their own land. You now repay another person.
Please share this video, share this information with our people, because as long as we keep quiet and be watching, like I said, no amount of our blood is enough for these people. It's not. So when we understand what is going on, that means we should visit those internal colonizers that is doing their biddings.
Exactly.
We should visit those are our enemies.
Yes.
They are in our land. They answer our names. They are brothers and sisters. Those, I know they have weapons to come after us, but guess what? They're only 1%. We are 99%.
Yes.
99% over 1. They can only do so much.
The puppets in the land.
They will run anyway. They will run because they will
run. They can't stand now.
Their houses already waiting for them at the colonial masters' headquarters. So they are good.
Them a visit.
They don't want
them a visit.
Pay them a visit. Pay them a visit. Number 2, the automatic confiscation of national financial reserves. They must put at least over 85% of their annual taxes and financial reserves into French bank and financial institution and pay interest on them. Listen, let me know. When you talk about slavery, you think it ended. It never ended for these people. All they did was come up with another thing to make them look good. Yes. Here in America, we see them how they ended up claim they end slavery. They come up with Jim Crow. After Jim Crow, they come up with sharecropping. After sharecropping, they come up with mass imprisonment. My dear, it has never ended. Don't let the job that you're doing deceive you. Number 3, the right of the first refusal on any raw or natural resources discovered in the country. So that means when France says, oh, I'm not interested, then you can look for other partners. They haven't stopped. They left Haiti in destitute. It's not enough. They are there making sure that people cannot even leave their own homes. The same people. No amount of blood is enough for them. Number 4, priority to French interests and companies in public procurement and public tenders. In awarding of public contracts, only French companies will have priorities over others. When you talk about wickedness in the highest level. Number 5, exclusive right to provide military equipment and train military officers. So when they're training you, you will tell them, oh, I have seen the terrorists. They are down the street. They are here. They said, no, just leave them. Just leave them. We are coming.
Yeah.
Leave them there. And then when you do go and capture them, they will go like they did in Nigeria, go and open the door for them to take off.
Yeah.
We know what they are doing. And we're telling you guys until you wake up and understand what is doing you. They will keep doing you and undoing you. defense agreement, the right of France, one of France, to deploy troops and military intervention into the country to defend their interests.
Yes.
And we want to emphasize on this interest because for years, including me, I didn't know that the interest is to me, meaning is to kill people or destroy people because of what you want. I was thinking that I never knew that another human being will say their interest is to destroy other people so they can live. People that didn't do anything to them. For years, I was thinking that interest means, oh, this is my thing. Oh, this is my home that I work hard for. And now you're trying to come and take it. No, I won't let you. Little did we know that interest mean if I come to your house and I see what belongs to you, it becomes my interest. It's mine. You have
I want
me.
it. Like toddlers.
I want it.
I want it. I want it. It's
mine.
my toy. It's my toy.
Mine.
Mine. And then you kill
That's
the
what
owner.
they meant. Their interest means even if it belongs to you and they decide they're interested in it, they want it, now it's theirs.
It's theirs.
That's what that interest
and
they
will not only take it, they will take it and kill you so that you don't come tomorrow to lay claim on it.
So we, the benevolent people that are kind, that will never take anything that doesn't belong to us, we did not know the interest means you get to disappear from the universe and they keep what belongs to you. Number 7, the obligation to make French the official language of the country and the language for education. Talk about setting up identity crisis. Francophony. Should we call it phony franca? Is the name of the organization in charge of dissemination of French language and culture in place of indigenous cultures. Lena and you left France. They won't let you live in your indigenous land. When you go to their country, they don't have any respect for you. You're an African monkey. You came through the Mediterranean Sea. How come you came here? They won't let you. Then you say, let me go back to my country. They will go there and start war.
Yes.
So you can leave. Wickedness in the highest level.
Highest.
Then they will come on the other side. If you talk back, their brothers and sisters will show up on the ground. African children are hungry. $3 a month, we will feed them. Just $3 a month. Just donate $3 a month, and we can feed this African child for 3 months.
And then the other one will come the other side and say, if they slap you on this cheek, turn the other cheek and receive it and say, slap me some more, please. I love slaps.
I am flabbergasted by the level of wickedness. Number 8, the obligation to use their so-called currency exclusively. The obligation to use their currency exclusively. It doesn't serve you any purpose. How did people even read this thing and don't think they are still enslaved? I'm confused.
They didn't read it. Did they even see it? They didn't see it now. Is that not why the cool boys came in? It's these things that they saw and they say, what? For the longest time, they didn't know. It's like our people that were teaching about Constitution, 1999 Constitution. To people that are in front of us say, how can you change the constitution of a country? How can you say the constitution of a country is fraudulent? You don't even have a country, let alone you have a constitution. So it's the same way. This thing is the same colonial agreement. That 1999 constitution is the same colonial agreement. It's just that this one, agreement in quote, because there's no agreement in this. At once saying it, everything they have. So there's no agreement. Agreement has to be two of us agreeing on it and signing. Agreement is not when you impose something on me, sign on my behalf, and then say I have no input on it. You are imposing it. They cannot impose an agreement. It's not an agreement.
This one is even worse than slavery. At least with slavery, they bring their brothers and sisters to be sitting around. At least I want to a little bit while they are there. This one, they are sitting in their air-conditioned home, and you are doing the work. Oh, I forgot, it's their interests. And they're enjoying all their interests.
By proxy. They have the local agents. So they do it by proxy, indirect rule. You say, go away, we don't want you. So they went and then imposed their people, your own people, on you. That's what we'd say. Pay them a visit. Look for these puppets. Please, the cool people in Niger. Pay these people a visit. All the puppets in Africa. Can you visit them to have a conversation? Just conversation. We didn't say we should do anything to them. We say conversation. Sit down with them and present this agreement to them. Say, please, can you read through this and see whether is what we will continue to live by? Just ask the simple question. That's all we're saying.
This is heartbreaking. Number 9, the obligation to send to France an annual balance sheet and a report on the state of reserves. Number 10.
Imagine the audacity.
I,
No reports, no
I feel
money.
like I need to use the restroom for real. My stomach is cramping. Okay, number 10. Renounce any military alliance with other countries unless authorized by France. Renounce any military alliance with any other countries unless authorized by France. Our sister Arikana has been crying, shouting from the mountaintop, praying that our people will wake up, even explaining these things over and over again. Instead, that people will say, oh, such a strong woman, she's a nice woman, but nobody did anything about it. We allowed you guys to steal our resources. We allowed you guys to maintain your interests. As if it's not enough, we are busy eating kernel nuts, eating oka, ube. It's not enough. You unleash terrorism on us so that we will never rise up to say, oh, God, what are you doing? This thing doesn't make sense. So all we're doing is running from pillar to post, trying to survive, eating in, and now we are running for our lives. Number 11, the obligation to ally with France in the event of war or global crisis. I was watching a documentary on World War II, and the British Prime Minister said, it was an audio, he said, if people knew what this war is all about, they will stop fighting, because it's not about anything but about those that won the war.
Okay.
So you send your son to go and join the military, to go and fight for people sitting up there. None of their children is there. They are busy sitting around, and your son will go and die for them. They will bury them, and then they will come and build a cemetery for you. And put his name on it. Oh yeah, Chukwuemeka Jr. died.
Was a hero.
Was a hero. And then I got inside. Hey, you want a high five?
High five.
Mission accomplished.
Yes.
People manipulated, hypernormalization. We have normalized things that are abnormal for them. So the more they look, the less they see. They're all confused. They think somebody cares about them. Hasieba Coca-Cola will go to Mexico and hold people on hostage, and then they will come out and tell you, oh, good governance, corporate governance, confusion everywhere. And then as you're crying to your Lord, they will have you. You will be captured by their church partners, their religious partners. They will ask you to keep praying to the Lord. It's going to be well. It is well. It is well. With my soul, with my soul. If that's not enough, when you come out, they will pay the musician. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy.
And if you decide not to dance, they will give you hard drugs and knock you out and knock all your youths out. Everybody will now be on drugs. Zombie like this.
Wake up, my people. Wake up. Wake up. God has revealed everything to us. If we decide to keep on sleeping and keep on begging, blaming on the Lord, keep on waiting, I gonna go in circles. Their musicians are business partners. Their religious leaders are business partners. The corporations, they are so powerful that they influence policies on the government level. And we're the ones supporting them because they want us to remain without knowledge. That's why they will block videos like this that will wake people up. On these slides, we have put in the details because these things are it's very important. Because when you read the agreement, with like number 1 said the colonial debt to repay benefits of colonization, it says that is to say that the newly independent state must reimburse the cost of infrastructure built by France, and they were always looking for details of the cost and evaluation of the benefits and payment imposed by France on the countries. So when we share this video along, you can actually read it in details, because me reading it now will make me vomit. The kind of things each one meant. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, it will make you sick to your stomach. And then you will come, they don't have any respect for you. You will leave them be working, trying to survive, they still will devalue you as a human being. This is what we have to go through. So slide 7 has the number 3 agreement all the way to number 5, and then slide 8 the same thing, and then slide 9 the same thing. So I'm not going to read it because of time constraint, but when we post it at a later time, you can read. If you're on a WhatsApp platform, we can also send you the whole PowerPoint information. The point is that we need our people to wake up. We can no longer be asleep. Our men need to wake up. We can no longer be asleep. This is our time. This is our time. That 400, 500 years that was projected in the Bible ended in 2019. And you can see things have been happening since then. I got down, 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 down. People that we thought weren't anything, they are all now challenging the superpowers.
Yes.
So we need to wake up. It's our turn to rebuild Africa. It's our turn to build a nation or a continent where our children will thrive.
Yes.
And have self-respect and have dignity. We can no longer afford to play around with this. This is not a popularity contest, my brothers and sisters. It's not. It's all about this. My mother will say, so that we can move. We have no time to waste. Ndị agbalara anyị ama. Also, ha bịa na ihe niile. Okay, who this thing because we are fighting a righteous cause. You will be surprised what will happen if we rise up and say, enough of this. We must visit the internal colonizers that are aiding and abetting these people, holding us hostage. Go ahead, my sister.
Yes, please, and continue to share, continue to like. If you need the PowerPoint, just leave us a comment. We'll get to you. If in case you're not already in our WhatsApp groups, because we have WhatsApp groups. So if you need this PowerPoint, let us know and find the comments, and then we'll get to you. So and for you to know that they know what they're doing. One of their former presidents, Jacques Chirac, he said, "We bled Africa for 4.5 centuries. That's over 400 years. We looted their raw materials. Then we told lies that the Africans are good for nothing. In the name of religion, we destroyed their culture. After being made rich at their expense, we now steal their brains through miseducation and propaganda to prevent them from enacting black retribution against us." So read it
I
again.
need to read that again, Biko.
I should read it again.
Please.
So, former president of France, Jacques Chirac, he said, "We bled Africa for 4.5 centuries. We looted their raw materials. Then we told lies that the Africans are good for nothing. In the name of religion, we destroyed their culture. And after being made rich at their expense, we now steal their brains through miseducation and propaganda to prevent them from enacting black retribution against us." This is from inside. These are an inside
Confession.
Yes, confessing, telling you what they did. And then your so-called elites, the so-called politicians, they will come and ask me, "Why did they say the constitution is a problem? How can the constitution be a problem? I've worked with the government. I know." You are part of the problem, actually. You're part of the people killing our people. And if you don't repent, I won't start telling you what will happen to you, because this is wickedness. The people that did what they did are confessing to you what they did. And don't you have conscience?
They are
Don't you
benefiting.
have the mind of God?
They are benefiting.
Are you not seeing our people dying in the Mediterranean Sea like flies? Are you not seeing that? You live in your high castle, all the wealth that you stole, and then you talk down on our people because of your action. And instead of you to be part of the solution, you're speaking English. Don't you fear God? How dare you?
He can speak in tongue, my dear. He doesn't fear God. He's God himself, God of his own village.
We want to call the countries out for you so that you can go and verify these things. The 11 colonial agreements were imposed on these 14 African countries by France since 1960, when they said we wanted independence. They were doing it all along, but they said they wanted it, but they changed it. They changed the name. Number 1, Benin. 2, Burkina Faso. Guinea-Bissau. Ivory Coast. Mali. Niger, like where you see happening. Chad. Congo-Brazzaville. Equatorial Guinea. Central African Republic. Togo. Senegal, Cameroon, Gabon.
My dear, don't forget, I know Haiti is not in Africa. Don't forget our brothers and sisters in Haiti. These people are still over there.
Yeah, they're there, but these ones are the ones that they went in and signed this agreement that we're talking about.
Right.
For Haiti, they have a different style for them. Those ones, it's complete destruction. They didn't even come out. They didn't even come out. And if you look at that slide, that slide, you see 6 African countries currently under military rule. What is going on is revolution. The youths are saying we are not taking this anymore because the so-called politicians have been their puppets. Look at Niger, say we want to restore democracy. Was there democracy before the youths moved in? Was there democracy? How can you have democracy under this type of agreement? Do you know what democracy is?
No, they don't.
Government of the people, by the people, for the people. That means the benefits of government goes to the people. Can the people have benefit under these 11 things that we have read out to you? This colonial yoke and bondage, shackles and manacles. How can you have democracy? How can you even call that thing democracy? I wish I can get to those children in Niger to give them some addresses of where they should go for meeting. I said meeting, no, I didn't say anything. Because people are callous. How can you be so callous against your own people? The colonial masters are already wicked, they're evil, they do whatever they're doing, that one. But how can you be a partner to it? Because of your selfish gains? Look at the signs of the times, home and abroad. The almighty Western countries have built an illusion, a fake world run by make-believe huge corporations, like my sister mentioned earlier on. People like Microsoft, Dangote. That's why when you move around, like even here, you won't see trees on the streets like it was in Africa where you walk around and see fruits. No, they made all the fruit-bearing trees to be seedless, so that the only ones.
So they can control when you can eat and when you cannot eat.
So it's everything about control. And then whatever they give you, if they decide to poison you through whatever they're giving you, they can do it. If they decide that all of you're too many, why do you see somebody like Microsoft from computer is going into food making, is going into virus making, going into vaccine making? What's going on? What is going on? So these are the things you're seeing. An illusion. Kept stable. Of course, you can't keep an illusion stable. That's what we say is an oxymoron. By selfish, greedy politicians who think only about themselves and their fatal ambition to rule, dominate, deceive, and manipulate their own people. It's a partnership. They are doing it together. Once they open door, they come and pick their puppets. Those puppets, that's all they do there. To continue to deceive you, to continue to make you not to see that what you have is an illusion, is a fake world. a colonial social, political, and economic system or syndrome described as hyper-normalization. My sister mentioned it at introduction and earlier on. Hyper-normalization. When fakeness will become like normal and acceptable. Hyper-normalization. Things seem out of control and that you can't even explain what is going on. Don't even understand. There's great uncertainty, confusion. Like the more you look, the less you see. That's how we describe it in Africa. The more you look, the less you see. You're seeing something like looks like hand. Then it's appearing like leg. Then he's looking again like somebody's head. Like, what am I even looking at? Is the system, hyper-normalization system, created to get you distracted. The West manipulating other poor countries to protect their selfish interests. The so-called West interest. Be asking them, ask your your politicians, what is this interest? I remember in those days, my people say, oh, I'm giving you moral support. My people say, go enable moral support. What is moral support? When they tell you interest, try to find out what interests are. Like my sister said, is interest to kill up everyone, all the indigenous peoples, and take their resources? Ask them questions. They made people abandon their own faith, culture, principle, and sovereignty. Identity crisis everywhere. Like people in the francophone countries, when you go there, you don't know whether they're Africans, you don't know whether they are from France, you don't know which one they are. Confused. The same way, like we're in Nigeria, you don't know whether it's English law we should follow, or is it culture we should follow, or which one are we following? Who are we? Who are we? Are we Africans, or we are British, or what? What are we? Who are we?
Out.
They use war, genocide, and sanctions as business to create wealth for themselves and their bloodthirsty friends.
Mm-hmm. They will give you aid. Their brothers and sisters will be at the aid office. They will collect 90% of the aid. Do you know a single aid worker was at the American International Monetary Fund gets up to $200,000 a year? And then mother not here now,
Can you imagine?
claiming to be an aid worker in a place people are dying of hunger.
And they say there will be war. All of a sudden, they will have access. NGOs will have access. War will not affect NGO. Journalists will have access to the worst terrorists in this world. But the government will say, we don't know where the terrorists are. They are just coming and killing people. They are their agents that are doing their biddings.
Mm-hmm. They will go and have interviews with them and come out giving us reports.
Yes. And they cannot catch them. And they cannot stop them from killing people. No, they are using them to kill people, displace them, move them in IDP camps, and build houses for them there so that they can take your land full of resources. You don't deserve it. God gave it to you, but God is not wise for giving these black monkeys huge resources. What is God is even thinking? Oh, let's kill all of them off, take their resources. They don't deserve it. And guess what? Our politicians and the elites are helping them.
And your church leaders are there pouring water on you as your horse, as the okay rat is biting you, your church leaders are there blowing air, so you won't know you're being beaten.
So, Gadima, don't worry. When you die, you go to heaven and your mansion will be in heaven. Don't worry. Yeah, you see me, I prayed. Now I have a private jet. You're not praying well. You need to do 70 days fasting so that you can have private jet like me. Liars, liars, liars. Yes, your church pastors are liars. Who said so? Your pastors in Nigeria, I'll repeat it. They are liars. Yeah, Vika, I said it. You people are liars. You know what? You know the truth and you're keeping our people from the truth. What are you? What does that make you? You know the truth, but you don't want the people to know the truth. Rather, you are telling them story, cock and bull story. Are you not liars? And what did God say about liars? That you're all going to hell, whatever. Okay, I've used the word they say we should not use. YouTube, sorry. They're going to that place where they are roasting people. or whatever the place is. Whether it's real or illusion, we don't care. But since you people are teaching our people that, you are all going to get there because you're all liars. Africa remains under the shackles and manacles of colonial criminals and imperialists for a long time. For a long time. And nobody is coming to our aid. Nobody is coming to help us. Because they're all partners. Both the religious people leaders, the local leaders, the politicians, the traditional leaders, all of them are being paid. My people, you're on your own. Or you people, the citizens, the masses, the poor masses, you are on your own. So let's team up together. And there are not many. Like my sister said, they're just 1%. We are 99. The only thing is that 99% ignorant people
It's useless.
Useless.
1% of people that are organized.
It's useless. So that's why we're here every Saturday trying to teach you to get you informed, and then we organize so that you don't be fighting yourselves, fighting for border, fighting for resources, when you are supposed to face
the system,
the colonial system, and the people managing that colonial system, the so-called puppets and politicians in your land. That the ones you should face. I didn't say we should ken them. We say you should ask them questions. Signs of the times, they're telling you, so that you be in the moment, you be present in the moment. You're following the conversation. But this is also a time of great opportunity to be freed from colonial bondage. That's why we say time. So if you monitor what is going on, you will know how to play your card. It's a great opportunity for what all this is going on is a great opportunity for us to move. It's like when a woman is in labor and she's traveling and then the contraction is taking place, there's chaos everywhere. It's a time a child comes out. So we can, if we understand the signs of the moment, we'll be able to get ourselves out of this bondage in this whole chaos that is going on. And that's why in what looked like a sudden twist of events, African long-awaited revolution began. Everybody's like, what's going on? Well, yeah, we have been waiting for this revolution. For people, what is revolution? For people to kick against bondage, kick against slavery, kick against prison and say, no, I have been born for a greater purpose. The God that created me for something bigger. He did not create me to be in this thing that I am. I said no to shackles. I said no to manacles. That is what revolution is. Kicking against the system that has held you bound for centuries. That is revolution. Niger's coup and shifting of alliance, because that's what they did. They just shifted alliance. Rwanda did it. After Rwanda genocide, Rwanda people shifted,
which they knew was going to happen, and they turned around and let it happen, and then of course they appeared as the heroes, Superman and Superwomen.
Yes. So Rwanda people shifted alliance. I have friends from there. Before it's French, they used to speak, but now they're speaking English. They shifted alliance from France to other English-speaking places. So the coup is shifting of alliance. For people that don't understand what is going on, people at ECOWAS, the puppets at ECOWAS, can you understand what the people want? They are resisting French neo-colonialism. That's what is going on. Get in tune with what is going on so that you know what to say and how to act. Otherwise, you endanger your people for being stupid. But why this is going on in Nigeria, what is going on? The indigenous ethnic peoples are battling with an unconstitutional and illegitimate president that has the audacity to go and start attacking other people. I said, are you practicing democracy, you? This is somebody that grabbed Aso Rock, grabbed ECOWAS through institutional coup. That's what our Rise News called it. It says institutional coup. These people that impose themselves on the people. the people don't vote for you, that you pose yourself on the people. Check all of them making noise at ECOWAS. All of them are lifetime president and people that impose themselves on the people. People that have done what you call institutional coup. What moral justification do they have to accuse other people and say, oh, you did coup, restore democracy? Are you practicing democracy in your country when you went to grab
They
power?
have approval from the colonial masters. So they
Oh,
yeah, that's what it is. They
I
are practicing
forgot.
democracy. Yes, the colonial masters told them
Yeah,
otherwise.
the colonial masters gave them a pass mark. He said, don't worry,
Yeah.
what you did is right. So far, you do our bidding. You are doing what is right. Like illegitimate Gowon of 1967. This illegitimate President Tinubu is seeking validation from the West. We have seen this before. It has happened before. And you know, when it happened, do you know what happened after that? Biafra genocide. 3.5 million massacred. Children, 2 million starved to death. That's what happened when Gowon, an illegitimate president, in quotes, was seeking validation. He signed every document that Britain put in his presence. He didn't even read. He didn't have to read through. Approved.
And now he wants us to go on to fasting and praying.
Yes, you want to be
For
fasting
one
and pray
Nigeria.
after you have committed calamity, and your God is still keeping you alive to correct the evil that you did, that your people are being killed for. I don't even know. Things have really changed because somebody like Gowon, his people ought to be asking him certain questions. But they are joining him to go and pray for the caricature country that he created and created on the blood of innocent people.
Mother, he's on one. I didn't want the generator to turn off. He's the only one with
Okay.
generator.
Yeah, the people are hungry, so that they have to get food from him. They just massacred his people again, 25 or 21 the other day. And he's there. I wonder how he feels. I saw him going for this Baba's this thing, happy birthday party. I'm like, how do these people? How do people? Do people even sleep? How do they live in themselves? Because
They do. They have aligned with their colonial masters, and they, have the same blood now flowing in them.
their conscience
Blood
is
where
so
they want
dead.
more.
Their
Yeah, they
conscience
want
is
more
so
people
dead.
to perish.
And I don't know if they have family members that ask them questions. Because me, growing up, I asked my parents questions. So I will ask you questions. Why are their children not asking them questions? You are alive. God is giving you long rope. That's the only reason you are still alive. To see whether you can repent and make amends. What did you do? You brought hypocritical prayers. Is that what will change what you have done? So this Tinubu is doing exact same thing. The West, they want you to play the game for them, be their puppet. Since you are thirsty for power, they will tell you they will support you, anything you do. So he's more interested and willing to protect the so-called interests of the West. America under Democratic Party, France, Britain, and their allies. Because sometimes people don't understand what is happening in America. America, they are divided. One group, everybody's evil, but one group is worse than the other one. Because one has that alliance with Britain. So anything Britain does, and Britain has alliance with Caliphate and Fulani. So you see that when they are in charge in America, everything Britain Caliphate will go fast, fast, fast. Some of our people keep deceiving themselves. I don't know what they're looking at. This is not about alliance to political parties. This is about policies. You look at policies. These facts are on the table. You check their policies and see what they're deciding and who they're forming and moving with. Then you will know. Look at your vice president now. Is there? We're telling you that this man did not go through democratic process to become president. You're there congratulating him. Does it make sense? So these things are not hidden. It's either you wake up from your slumber and open that thing they used to block your ear and block your brain too. Throw it away so that you can use your brain to follow what we're discussing and you'll be more useful to the project. So far, you continue to deceive yourself with lies. You won't really do much for Ninas. Because you are biased in your mind because you have something that you want to gain. You see, for you to be efficient in Nina's movement, you must be somebody that is like, you don't want to gain anything from anything. You're selfless. It's not about you. It's not about whether you have property in Abuja or Lagos. You have said, no, my people first. So all those personal interests, small things that you're getting here, whether you're getting from the government here or you're getting from the government in Nigeria, all those small things, you must let them go and say the people first.
The people first.
That's when you will be useful to Ninas. If not, you'll be there dancing up and down after you say, I was with Ninas, I was with Tony for 20 years. What have you achieved for being 20 years? Yeah, from time to time, you carry one chicken change and throw into the project. And so that we know what you're doing, so that when we succeed, you now come and say, yeah, we are the one that did the job. Let's stop deceiving ourselves, please. Your illegitimate president is willing to sign every document before him. And even if it means loyalty to foreigners and patriotism to his own people, they don't care, because that's what they care about. Sense of the times. So it's time for Africans to dethrone colonial democracy and enthrone indigenous democracy. By that, we mean the real power given to the people, the indigenous people. They stole the power and sovereignty of the indigenous people for over, in Nigeria, is more than 100 years. So you can't practice democracy when there is no justice, when the people, you stole their sovereignty. How can you say you're doing democracy when the people are not part of what you're doing? So that cannot be democracy. We are still in colonialism. That's what we are in Nigeria. And that constitution is colonial constitution. It's not the people's constitution. So you cannot practice democracy with it. But can Nigerians, can they do to enthrone, because we say it's time for Africans to dethrone colonial democracy and then put indigenous democracy. That means the real democracy. We're just saying this situation because colonial democracy is not democracy, actually. It's colonialism. I would have put it in quotes. There's no democracy with colonialism. Just get it straight. For you to have a true democracy, the people have to be in charge of their destiny, in charge of their future. That's when you talk about having democracy. Nigeria cannot have democracy under the imposed colonial 1999 constitution. Anybody that is telling you that's democracy, tell them foul. They're lying. It's not democracy. A fraudulent constitution that is based on lies, it cannot give you justice. You can't have justice. And if you don't have justice, you can't have good governance, you can't have anything meaningful for the people. Can a fraudulent military constitution in the hands of people who have hidden agenda give the peoples of Nigeria indigenous democracy? That's not possible. A constitution that has made Nigeria a bondage to the constituent components of Nigeria, because we do have constituent components. Some people will say, oh, how are you saying that everybody will come and do constitution? That's not what we're saying. We're saying that the people, before these colonial masters came, the peoples were in their lands, ancestral lands. They were there governing themselves. They came and mixed everybody together, stole their resources, stole their land, steal everything. We're saying restore what you have stolen. Give power back to those people, those indigenous peoples, the legitimate indigenous people, because you don't become indigenous people by just putting indigenous to your name. No. Or to get a foreign name. Oh, Biafra, put indigenous there. That does not make you indigenous. You are not indigenous. You are indigenous when you are in your land, and then you are there speaking your language like you are known in that land for years. That's what makes you indigenous. Like Igbo people, they've been in their land for 5,000 years. Hausa people, Ijo, Urobo, Yoruba, all of them. These are indigenous peoples in that space. So the constitution puts shackles and manacles on our people. What's the way the 11 colonial agreements of France put shackles on those 14 former colonies? Gives rights. This constitution gives rights of passage and massacre to Fulani invaders. This same constitution gives the colonial masters and their puppets unrestricted access to your God-given rich natural resources. A constitution that is very debilitating and has nothing to offer the people except forced migration and death, like my sister said earlier on. Signs of the time. Let's see what George Ware, president of Liberia, said. The next slide, please. He said, and we cannot condemn military coup when we do not condemn those who carry out institutional coups. That's George Ware saying that. Speaking the truth. What moral justification do you have? Some of these old men think that we are blind or what? You do one, and then you are pointing finger at another person that did the same thing that you did. Your own is even worse. So in case there are still people ready to reason like real human beings, those are willing to join this long-awaited African revolution to deliver the people, because it's the people who want to deliver. We're not interested in the colonial masters' interests. We're not interested in what the puppets want. We want what the people want. The masses, the poor masses that have suffered for years, what they want freedom, and we stand with them. It is time to pull down the British Caliphate 1999 Constitution, which has 98 colonial imposed agreements items. That's what it is. British people, they have their own. African French is 11. Our own has 98.
They want to make sure they tie you down real good.
Tie you very well, because we are many. So as we are many, that's how our shackles are many. Indigenous peoples of Nigeria and Africa must be better equipped and well prepared to break away from the colonialism and neo-colonialism projects. You don't just go shouting on the main road and shouting on social media or wear military uniform and be shouting, hey, we're going to war. Stop that, because you're making our people to be killed. That's not what it takes. It's going to take brain, like my sister said. You're on your land. You have the resources. Why are you bringing war to the land? There's no need for war in this discussion. No need for war, no need for bullet, no need for gun, no need for bloodshed in this discussion. It is time to take back our sovereignty. It is time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It is time for us to take back our sovereignty. And of course, as we always tell you guys on this show, we cannot move forward under that 1999 fraudulent constitution. And these are the 5-point agenda on how we need to move forward. We always like to end our show with, okay, fine, you've been talking and talking. So what's now? What do we need to do? You understanding that 1999 constitution is a problem, not your mother-in-law, not your sister, nobody, not the person selling products in front of your marketplace, nobody but the constitution that is a pressure cooker for the hell that you're facing right now. So with the NIDA's 5-point agenda, the first one is to acknowledge the grave constitutional grievances, because this constitution, when we tell you guys it's a pressure cooker, I don't know if some of you have run into pressure cooker. Pressure cooker can cook beans. The beans that you cook for 3 hours, pressure cooker will cook it under 15 minutes. So just to sort of quantify it in your brain. So we want them to acknowledge that constitutional grievances. The second one is an express commitment to get rid of this imposed 1999 constitution, because it's killing us. We cannot move forward. Go back and do your research since 1999. Think about how old you are. You've lived, let's say you got here, you were given birth in 1999. You are about to turn 30 years of age, and nothing good has come out of that place called Nigeria. And by the way, we need to stop calling ourselves Nigerians. That thing is just a colonial name established by the colonial terrorists to keep us pressurized. We need to start identifying ourselves as where we are from. I want to give kudos to my daughter, who is going around calling herself and telling people that she's from the great Igbo nation. That's where we are. We need to stop promoting the colonial brand. Nigeria is a colonial brand. I tell people every day, even on a phone call. I was speaking to someone from an electric company yesterday. Oh, where are you from? I'm from Igbo nation. Where is it? I started explaining to you. Your forefathers destroyed my nation and put it under Nigeria, but it's called Great Igbo Nation. Identify who you are. Let's stop the identity crisis. Let's stop identity crisis. We cannot be promoting that we're hardworking people, very smart, very stern, very tenacious. And here we're giving credit to Nigeria instead of our indigenous land where our forefathers are from.
And you don't need gun to do this.
You don't need gun to do it.
To do this.
You don't need Christ to help you.
No.
It's you telling people, oh, I like you. What are you from? I like what you're doing. You are from the Great Igbo Nation. Put it in their ears. We are not from Nigeria. Nigeria is a brand name. We are not here to promote brand names. Let colonial the brand name that created this colonial name to go and promote it themselves. Enough of the madness. Third one, and we have to remind you guys every day about this. Thanks to those of you that are going around identifying where you're from. Be proud of your Yoruba nation. Be proud of a Igbo nation. Be proud of a Ijaw nation. Stop promoting Nigeria for them. Stop promoting Nigeria and frack and phony for them. Because now they don't even have to do anything. It's you. The enslaved people that are going around and nicely telling you everybody, yes, I'm a Nigerian. I'm from Nigeria. Shame on you guys. Shame on you guys. The third one is an express commitment to shelve further national elections under the 1999 Constitution in order to initiate an immediate transitioning process for fresh constitutional protocols. An invitation to the constituent people of Nigeria to work out the modalities for transitioning arrangement. We've been telling you guys this over and over again. And the last but not least, announcement of a time-bound two-stage transitioning process, which shall in the first stage feature multi-regional referendums by which constituent components shall recommit or opt out of the Nigerian Union. And if they want otherwise, we'll move forward with whatever the outcome of the referendums are. We need to stop, people. I'm calling on my Igbo people, my Ijaw people, my Yoruba people. Start identifying yourself as who you are. I was listening to a brother the other day and he said, there is a group of people, they're looking for smart people. This guy was in a white man show discussing. There's a group of people that score highest on every standard test. They are called, he didn't know how to say, he said they are called Igbo, but nobody talks about them. I said, why would you be talking about ourselves when we are busy promoting Nigerian brand name? Why would they know my people? The people that knows that can do and undo, the chosen one, the language of heaven, the ones that know who they are. Why are we hiding behind the Nigerian brand? Why? Let those benefiting from it go and be announcing their Nigerians. Let we that have never benefited go back to our ancestors because they are waiting for us to come and reclaim who we are and stop the identity crisis. And that's where we are going forward with the spotlight on the wisdom of our ancestors. We love our ancestors because we know who we are. We are part of their DNA. This thing that we are doing, who we are, did not come from any other place, but because of the lineage that we have within our system. We are going to discuss with you guys exactly the dimension of intelligence, which is the Igbo tradition, because these people came and destroyed who we are. They said he's the only person that can speak English that is smart. But English. They are all naked. After speaking English, if you tell them to go right, they will go left. If you tell them match, they will go in left. They don't know right, left. We have seen them and their professional certificates and their professor emeritus and their mathematician from Harvard. Stop making them in charge of things because they know how to speak English. We are looking for people with our ancestral wisdom, yo. Ancestral wisdom, the wisdom of Solomon, where even if you're not present and something happened, just from me hearing the stories, you will know who did what and what did what. And it's not by putting fake wig that looks like Udele wig on your head, thinking that wisdom will connect from the wig into your brain. No, it's called dimension of intelligence, which is our forefathers' tradition that tells us how to. My mother, she didn't go to school. She called that level of wisdom. Yes. My mother will speak with her eyes. You will know when she says yes. You will know when to say so. And the visitor is there and things are happening in the background.
Yes.
Things are happening in the background. Fast. highest level of intelligence. Because they say there are 7 sense. I want 100 sense that has not been described. Because we know when we used to speak to our forefathers, they will come to our dreams and talk to us about things that are yet to happen.
Yes.
You will know. You will pick up the phone and call your son. Son, how are you? Are you okay? Your son will say, Mommy, I'm okay. He said, no, you're not okay. What's going on?
Exactly.
Your son will immediately, without anybody, no phone call, no revelation, just you. How do you describe that sense? Like my brother will ask. How do you describe that sense? Ndocha? Let's drop the madness and let me allow my sister to dive more into this. That we need to go and acquire this level of intelligence from everywhere. We don't care about your so-called fake certificate that you're using, parading, claiming that you're speaking English. If you do not understand you are still as dumb as hell.
Yep.
You need to learn. Go
Tell
ahead.
them, sister, humble yourself and learn. Dimensions of intelligence in Igbo tradition. Akonuche. If you don't have akonuche, you don't care the type of certification that you are carrying around. Please get out of the way of our people so that we go and get akonuche to know where we're going. So our people broke it. We told them that this time is so short, so we'll just do something fast. One class, general physical, like academic intelligence. This is the ability to learn and develop skills needed for survival and to perform daily tasks. That's one sect of it. Another one is spiritual intelligence, ability to understand deeper meanings of things, events, and occurrences. Then emotional intelligence, how you relate to other members of the community, the family, and with the issues that concern the well-being of the community you belong to. Our people believe, our ancestors believe, that there is individual variation in levels of intelligence, reasoning capacity, ways of seeing things and evaluating things. That's why they said, Uche bu akpa, onye ruo okuru nke ya, meaning intellect is like a bag. Each person is meant to carry his or hers. That means embrace your own level of intelligence. Know your limitations. So we respect the views of others in my culture, in Igbo culture, yes. We respect the views of others. However, one needs to know and accept his or her limitations.
Even at that, we always go with the superior argument for the well-being of our people.
Exactly. Because it's when you know your limitation, you say your own view, the other person will say, then eventually we go with a superior argument. It will be so clear. Everybody will understand it. So people that don't know will be willing to learn from others who should know more than them. And that's why they say, Ikwa mari ibezia, meaning you learn from other members of the community who do know more than you. You can't know it all. One is expected to ask questions when in doubt, rather than make mistakes. Onye ajụjụ anaghị efu ụzọ. Those who ask questions do not miss their way or get lost. For one to be seen as an intelligent person in Igbo culture, one should be able to balance the various dimensions of intelligence. That is, there should be balance and equilibrium. Otherwise, our people will say you have one single unbalanced intellect. That means that you don't have that balanced akonuche that will make you know so that your intelligence will balance. Once it doesn't balance that way, my people will identify you as not being too intelligent, not for chara. No, this person's intelligence is just one-sided. It's not balanced. And you will not be seen as someone that will represent others in that, because you don't really get things.
And it's okay.
And it's okay. You know your limitations are still within your borders and your boundary. Let others who know speak. Don't speak on things you don't know anything about or you have limited information about, because you're going to make people make mistake and people may die. So in our culture, some of the people we look up to today as leaders, even the so-called well-read, in those ancient times, they wouldn't have been people that would represent us anywhere, because my people will not see them as intelligent enough or wise enough to represent others. They might be intelligent enough just to live in their family and do whatever, but to represent the entire community, no, they wouldn't have been anywhere near leadership. We see them now. Ndị otu Ọhanatọrọ Ọhaneze, all those moving around. Just looking at them, you know that this is stupidity looking at you. And when they now talk, you say, why did you talk? Why did you even talk? When you didn't talk, I didn't know that you are this, that Obasarofuma. Now you have spoken. You have disgraced yourself with the words. So please, let's try, as we keep working towards restoration of our Igbo, let's begin to embrace this balanced intellect, because it's available. You can. That's why I say that means that you are able to learn. If you feel that you're limited on anything, ask your brothers and sisters that know to teach you, so that you embrace and acquire more information and be a better person and more useful to the great Igbo nation. Thank you.
Thank you, my sister. We are here to complete this job. Like we always advise, you guys are shareholders in what we're doing. Share this program, discuss with others, get your children involved. My daughter cannot go a day without mentioning her ancestors. Her ancestors are showing up everywhere she goes. Begin to teach your children your culture. Begin to teach them who you are. If you are home speaking English to Numoge, stop and begin to speak your native language, your mother's language to your children. Let's focus on this. God is available. He's waiting for us. He's eating rice because we're there being naughty children. He said as soon as we turn around and say, Father, we are willing to do this job, he will put his plate of rice and say, okay, let's go. Please identify yourself as whatever nation you're from. We are no longer going to promote the colonial brands. We are calling on all our brothers and sisters in all the African nations. Begin to identify yourself from where you're from, not what France named you, not what Portugal named you, not what Britain named you. Begin to identify yourself. This is how it starts. This is how we start. When we come out and tell them who you are, they will know that whatever manipulation that they did is falling apart. And we are not using any weapons to do that. But let me say, it's all about knowledge. Begin to identify every conversation. Oh, I like your name. I like your outfit. Oh, I like the way you do things. Tell them it's because of your ancestors from Igbo land that made you who you are today.
Yes.
Stop promoting the colonial brands.
Stop.
Stop giving money to those that don't care about you. If you have excess, give to your sisters and brothers down the street, not to the churches.
Yes.
These
Please.
people are just a bunch of business partners to promote colonialism, nothing else.
Yes.
That's why we are shouting. Our brothers and sisters that run the churches, the bishops, and you won't see, tell them, at least let them mention what is going on to
They
our
will
people.
never. No, they will never. They are there for the colonial masters.
Please, we need to do this work. Nobody is going to do it for us. Don't let the blockage of what they're doing stop you.
Yeah.
People are getting the message. Again, we want to thank our food soldiers. Thank you for all your work. We want to thank the Daughters of Truth back home. Thank you for what you're doing, because we are going home. Devil has no choice but to get a quick notice and get the hell out of our way. We are going home. We are going home. So until next week, brothers and sisters, we are happy to have you guys here. We'll return next week by the grace of God. We'll continue to learn and enlighten you guys. And please, please, please be part of this. Don't be part of those that will sit there and say, oh yeah, now who is Nina? Nina's is not. You are Nina's. If you're not promoting Nina's, that means the brimstone is coming your way, brothers and sisters, because it's the only way out of the condition that we find ourselves in. God has given us someone that did this research 23 years ago. We are the one that decided to be in the wilderness. The present has been delivered. It's only for us to open it up and embrace it. Let's stop wasting time. Our brothers and sisters in all the African nations, we are standing in solidarity with you. We are
Yes.
praying for you. We are going to get out of this. Not by praying. I don't want to get it all confused.
Oh,
We are using actions.
yes.
And we are also connecting with our ancestors and our God to help us as to go into this situation that we'll find
Yes.
ourselves in. So thank you. We'll see you guys next week. Remain blessed. We will win this war. We will sit, brothers
Amen.
and sisters, we will be here to welcome this new African continent that
Yes.
our way.
Yes.
So
Yes.
until
Yes.
next week, mucho love. Bye bye.
I